What?
The only reason why is because Dakota Kai is not getting the belt.
That I know. That's so.
Yeah,
she's-
that sucks. That's devastating. For you
Jesus
guys.
So she's concussed. Then we're screwed.
Yep. Crooked.
Hey, that Lyra could retain at WrestleMania, and Dakota Kai, when she recovers, it's all hers.
And then Steve wins because he's just later than mine.
Dude, I'm gonna get the prices righted by a concussion.
You did see something. And that's
This
the
guy
only
thinks
way I'd
Zelina
want it to
Vega's
go.
gonna win it.
Yeah, apparently something happened to her too, so...
Who's to say?
You.
Okie dokie.
My wise man.
Dude, if Zelina Vega's actually the next champion, that would be hilarious.
Or just what's gonna happen?
Yeah. Because I know. I've simply predicted it correctly. Okie dokie. So, would you like to recap what happened last session? Anyone?
Yes.
Other than Steve.
Whoa, he wants to.
Steve always does it.
Because he's good at it.
Someone else did it.
I think I did it last time.
GM spoke. Just tag me in whenever you need help.
Okay, I'm trying to think of how we started.
I'm taking it.
I'm not doing it from the
outside
end.
the ring.
You take it down. Okay, so we started by. I think this was. We went to the camp.
There were horses outside
Oh,
the city waiting for us.
Yes.
You got back from Avernus.
We have the hand. We went to the camp. There was a bunch of people gathered. The army of
The coalition.
whoever's fighting Tiamat.
Do you remember who was there?
No.
I'm not. I'm just.
No, you're good. So it was all of Duke Ravengard's forces, Glensk's forces.
The Harper lady.
Yep.
Want to die or
Lord
Oh, you're right.
Lord Calfire was there. The elf person.
Thank you.
Get you toast.
That might be
my bad.
it
Thank
for
you.
coalition, and then we got some aid. We all had some moments after we talked to.
Would you like to go over the moments that you had?
Well, I went to a forest outside of camp to meditate for a bit, and my mentor, well, not my mentor, the leader of the elves, gave me elf song reforged.
Oh yeah.
And
The sword.
Yeah.
Do you remember the name?
Was it the no? It's based off of the fucking Nightingale trilogy. I can't remember the name of it.
It was. He called it
Redeemer or something.
Redeemer or Absolution.
Absolution. That's right.
Absolution.
Yeah. That guy slit my fucking throat. He's not getting redeemed.
It's only because Sauron's not there.
Sauron's not yet.
Also, just for clarification's sake, I said this last session. This is sorry, I know I'm interrupting you. These last 2-3 sessions are like the culmination of the choices you've made up to this point. So there's going to be a lot of times where I'm describing what your character is doing for you. I might ask you a question. Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? And then I will describe what's happening. If at any point you think I'm doing something you wouldn't do, just jump in. Also, commentary during the session, obviously keep it to a minimum. Cheers, yay, woohoo!
I did need that
oh,
reminder.
that's bad. That's fine. But jokes, peanut gallery stuff, to a minimum. Yeah.
No, that's me. That's for me.
The fuck does that mean?
That's for me too.
That's for me.
You received, because you lost your sword in the city of Dis to Asmodeus.
Gave it up. I didn't lose it. I gave it up.
You gave it up.
Claim
So
the
now
hand of our king.
You have a sword again.
What happened with you, Steve?
Oh, me? Yeah.
I pointed at
Oh.
Emma, but
Oh, my
sorry.
bad. My bad.
Right after he lost the sword, or in the
no,
camp?
like what
What
happened in
happened
the
to
camp?
you? What was
Oh,
your unique
oh,
thing?
my moment. Yeah. So Lord Calfire came up to me and basically was like, I mean, there's a lot more to it, but he was like, you know, I know you hate your last name, Morcus. I saw it to your father's death. and I would love to call you my daughter if you would so wish it.
Yep.
I cried, dude.
Yeah.
And Oren?
I think Soren will get a kick out of this one.
Oh boy.
Oren made amends with his wife.
You're welcome.
His wife's now. Oh, did you already know that happened?
No.
Oh, yeah, he made amends with his wife's now husband, and they
Wait.
basically.
Mhm.
Yes. Did you? Yeah.
He's a cock?
Whoa!
Hey, he doesn't watch.
Yeah, but they basically talked about how, Oren's fine with it, and she thought he was dead, so he doesn't hold anything against them. And he actually invited the guy said that after all this is over, he still wants Oren to be in their kid's life,
Oh.
and Oren agreed to that.
Does his wife know?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He also mentioned that they think Oren is a true hero. He's
Yes.
what they aspire to be, and when his daughter is playing with her friends, she pretends to be Oren.
Oh.
Gosh.
He also mentioned that he and his men of the 3rd Heavy Cavalry will be the shield that guards the Guardians as they make their way to the cave's entrance.
Yes.
Um,
I hope he hasn't. Soren has an interaction with him.
yeah, who knows?
Soren knows the guy.
Well, we don't know, technically.
That's true. Did it happen? So after they had their moments, they collected themselves. They tried to get as much sleep as they could. Oh, excuse me. The morning came, and a runner. Oh, also Yoren was not really involved in anything. He kind of just went off and prepared in his own way.
Sorry to interrupt. He does have his capability now, though.
I was
Something
getting
happened.
there.
Something happened with him.
I was getting there.
Something did happen with him.
So the next day, when runners retrieved all of you to bring you to, because Alder wanted to talk with you in private before everything happened, you noticed that Yoren had got his capability back. So yeah, something happened with him. They talked with Alder. He had a quick little like, hey, whatever happens, I consider you friends, blah blah blah, that kind of stuff. And then Ilmata strode through a portal behind the group. And Durin and Roscoe entered the battlefield.
Yeah, I know.
Goes hard.
It was like freaking Endgame with the portals at the end.
Because Ilmata's words were the Guardians should not face their final battle at anything less than full strength.
Yeah.
Castellon was also with them with 10 celestial solars at his back. Think like Uriel from Diablo.
Actual
That
fucking
guy.
angels.
They summoned Zariel and Lulu, because her combined with Arcan's hand can destroy the shield. Alder was about ready to go and inspire the troops, and then a fiery portal opened, and Bell, the Forge Devil from Avernus that they met down there when they were rescuing Elturel, appeared and offered them his help, because if the mortal plane is destroyed, there's no souls for him to harvest, so the stakes are pretty high, so he's lending his aid. Castellon did have to give him this cubic gateway thing. Lets you shift between planes, but that was his price. Alder gave his big rousing speech. The army mustered, prepared to charge. The 3rd heavy cavalry was in front of the Guardians' little strike team. Alder leaned over to Helio and said, "By the way, your blade trance is going to signal the charge because it's loud, it's bright, it's inspiring." Helio handed the reins of his horse to Cersei, flew up into the air, and as he was about to draw his sword, I stopped the session. That's
Yeah.
Yes.
So we've been edging all week.
I know, dude.
And the plan, basically, the whole goal is kill Arcan and Thordak, right? So they need to get the Guardians inside the mountain. The armies of Arcan outnumber the Coalition 10-1, and most of their forces are also like individually stronger. With Arcan's hand on Zariel's sword, she can destroy the shield. The idea is this wedge will push to the front gate, get the Guardians inside, and then block those forces from breaching the mountain behind them. Once they're inside the mountain, they're on their own. There's not really much anyone can do. And then it's get in, kill Arcane as quick as possible, because they're on a time limit. Okay, and that was where we left off.
We also summoned
The silver.
the metallic
Yes.
dragon.
So they flipped the coin to summon the silver metallic dragon
Oh yeah.
to fight by their side.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell
Okay.
yeah. Even.
Hell's yeah, even.
All right.
Baldur's
We
Gate.
starting from where we ended.
Yeah, we'll jump back a little bit so we can get back into it. So, the army assembles. Alder whispers to you that you are to signal the charge. Helio draws his sword. Helio flies into the air. You see standing in front of you the barrier, standing strong and impenetrable, protecting the assembled armies of evil behind it. Zariel floats next to the Guardians, mounted behind Raven Guard's heavy cavalry. Her sword is drawn, now bearing the hand of Arcan, like wrapped around its hilt. Would you like to activate the blade trance?
I'm gonna, kind of look across the assembled crowds. I'm not gonna say anything, but I will draw my sword, ignite the blade trance, and point forwards.
Are you getting back on the horse, or are you
and
flying?
then I'll land back on my horse.
Okay. Sword raised in the air, blue fire licking along its edge. Banners are lifted streaming into the wind as their proud bearers rear their mighty war horses. Alder turns to the Guardians and gives them one final nod as 24 war horns sound. And with a roar of defiance, the charge begins, blue flame pointing the way. Thundering hooves and roaring stallions barrel toward the barrier. The dark forces there relaxed in their lines, unimpressed, feeling sure in the strength of the shield that guards them. Iolmir and his Drake Knights fly toward the barrier in the sky, next to a silver dragon and a dozen celestial souls burning with radiant light. The Guardians and Alder form the tip of the vanguard on the ground, Zariel following close behind. The wedge of heavy cavalry shielding them from the front. The shield draws nearer and you see Zariel pull ahead. Her sword growing brighter and brighter, she pulls a good distance ahead. The forces of darkness avert their eyes from the light reaching through the rippling shield. She reaches back, drawing all of her considerable power into the tip of her blade. Her sword pierces the shield, and with the sound of crashing glass and burning thunder, the shield burns away in a flash, to the horror of the dark forces beyond. Their shock gives the cavalry all the time they need to close the rest of the distance. A moment later, the wedge crashes into Arcan's still shocked lines, and the final battle begins at last. All is noise and chaos. The sound of crushing hoofbeats and groaning undead being smashed underfoot as the cavalry charge smashes through the forces of Arcan. Iolmir's Drake riders and the Silver Dragon fight the flying harpies and mutated drakes overhead. The assembled infantry forces fight desperately to keep the mutants, the undead, and the abominations away from the Guardian strike team. With slashing sword and piercing bow and smashing axe, the group makes their way toward the cave entrance, taking advantage of the shock of their entrance to surprise the enemy. Soon the screams of their own men and women join the enemies as Alder's coalition begins to take casualties. One of Alison's commoners is consumed in drake fire. A blazing solar is smote into the ground by a mutated drake and torn to shreds by the dragonborn lower Arcan. A horse screams as it's pierced by a long spear and tumbles over itself in front of them. You hear a familiar voice, "Shields!" A metallic shudder as a line of metal moves between the seeking arrows and probing spears of Arcan's forces. A voice calls from the front of the cavalry wedge, "Right sweep! The entrance is right!" With the ease of many months' practice, the whole charge leans right, following the banners of Raven Guard. The enemy can do nothing but brace for death as roaring horses and yelling men and women crush them underfoot. The arrows and swords slash pointlessly at enchanted steel or miss entirely, underestimating the speed of the approaching charge. Eventually they reach the entrance to the main cave. With a squad of elves and dwarves with you, you can see the cavalrymen dismount and immediately move to form a shield wall. You get a decent chunk, maybe 4 lines deep, of men protecting you and the group of dwarves. You can see Reva is with them and his scouts. You can see he's kind of looking at the door questioningly. He looks around and says, "I can get us through it, but you might want to help the rest of them while I do it. It's going to take a minute or so."
Alright.
So, what are you doing?
Okay, I will. I'm gonna join the elves. Not mine. And just. I'm not going crazy.
crazy with it.